two of the most common psychological problems, psychological challenges that we suffer from. And those are depression and anxiety. You notice that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Jannah, again and again Jannah is described, and Allah says, لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. لا خوف عليهم, there is no fear on them. ولا هم يحزنون, nor shall they grieve. And so Allah addresses two emotions, doesn't He? The two very emotions that we suffer from most in this life. And that is fear and sadness. And Allah tells us that in Jannah there's no fear and there's no sadness. Addressing those two challenges that we face in this life most. But there's something else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us. Is this freedom from ultimate fear and ultimate depression and sadness only saved for Jannah? Yes and no. Our perfect life, insha'Allah, is in Jannah. But does that mean that in this life we have to keep on suffering until we get to Jannah? Not necessarily. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually gives us a medicine so that we don't have to suffer so much inside in this life also. Now we may suffer externally, and when I say suffer, I mean we will go through hardships. We will go through hardships. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us this. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Allah says, we will surely test you of something of fear. And here, realize Allah is telling us that He gives us something of fear. Shay. It isn't all fear. It isn't fear like fear in the hereafter fear. It's just a little bit of fear. And this is part of dunya, part of the test of dunya. Yes, we will go through hardships. And He says that we will test you with something of fear. You are going to experience this emotion. Why does Allah give us this test, however? When you continue these ayats, you realize that it is actually for our own good. So Allah says, we will surely test you, something of fear and hunger and loss. Loss of what? نقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات. Loss of wealth and souls and fruits of your labor. You know that this life, sometimes we lose money. Sometimes we lose property. We lose things that we have. Sometimes we lose people in our lives, people that we love. And sometimes we lose something called results. Sometimes we put so much effort into something and it just doesn't turn out the way we want, right? You try so hard to mend a relationship and it still doesn't get mended. You try so hard to put together a program and it doesn't work out exactly the way you wanted. You're trying, you're putting your effort, but the result sometimes is lost. Thamarat, this is the result. This is the fruits. You know, when a farmer puts so much work, right? Has to put in so much work, and in the end, what is it for? For the fruit. That's the result. That's the outcome. But sometimes we don't get that. We lose it. We tried, but we don't get an outcome. We don't see a result. And that is not always easy. And that's part of the test. But after all of this, Allah tells us something interesting. He says, وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Give glad tidings to the patient ones. Have you ever seen someone who's going through a hardship and gone up to them and said, congratulations. Congratulations that you just lost your job. Or congratulations that you're going through this financial difficulty. We don't usually say that, right? Because we don't think about it like that. But here Allah is almost saying congratulations. He is saying glad tidings to them who are patient. And He's referring to those who have gone through those things, who have gone through loss, who have gone through something of fear, and who have gone through something of hunger. But to them He's giving glad tidings, only to the patient ones. Who are these patient ones? الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Those who, when a hardship, a musibah, a calamity strikes them, they respond. They say, indeed, we belong to Allah and to Allah is our return. This statement, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, is a very powerful statement. And it's not only a statement of the tongue. This is a statement which represents an entire paradigm, an entire way to see the world. And this paradigm, this response, begins with Inna lillah. Indeed, we belong to Allah. When you believe that you belong to Allah, when you believe that everything you have is only a gift that is given to you on loan, it doesn't belong to you. When you know this, then your response when it is taken away is very different. Inna lillah. And so we begin with this concept. If we all realized that every single gift we have is only that, a gift, then we would never respond with a statement like we just spoke about in the previous session, Allah is not fair, wa a'udhu billah. We would never respond with that if we knew that it all belongs to Allah. That would be like a person who lends you their car for a while and then after many years comes to take it back. And then you get very upset and say, that's not fair. How could that not be fair when it's my car? This is how we respond to Allah. Allah gave us money, gave us health, gave us youth, gave us children, gave us spouses, gave us a nice place to live. He gave us eyesight. He gave us hearing. He gave us all of these abilities which we completely take for granted, but then when they are taken, we say that's not fair. But Allah is taking back what was His. How can we say it's not fair? When you realize everything belongs to Allah, it is a healing for the heart, because when it is taken, you can respond with patience and say and respond and react in a way that is inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Indeed, we belong to Allah and to Allah we return. That car, it belonged to you and it returns to you. I'm not going to say that's not fair. It wasn't mine. Remember that when something is taken from you, when things don't work out exactly the way you want, remember that Allah owns all of it. The next ayah gives us that. Why is this a good thing? Why the glad tidings? أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. That for those people, there is the blessings of Allah, the mercy of Allah, and they are the rightly guided.